大家好, I'm Nathan Rich, aka 火锅大王. Today I want to issue a statement to Jesse Watters of Fox News. If you know anything about me, you know that I try to watch all sides of the issue. I watch Fox, I watch CNN, MSNBC, anything, right, left, center, doesn't really matter. I want to see what different people have to say about things. But that doesn't mean that I like everybody that I watch. Jesse Watters. I've never really cared much about Jesse because he seems very slow. He said he wanted China to apologize for the coronavirus. And he also said a few interesting things about China. This is why some people on the right are so hated. Rather than focus on everything that America is clearly doing wrong with this outbreak, you look to blame someone else. Why don't you start putting pressure on Trump and the rest of the government to start taking drastic measures to save lives? You know, like China's been doing. And another thing that I wonder is it China's fault that the CDC has stopped reporting the testing numbers? Is that China's fault? Is it China's fault that the CDC recently let someone out of quarantine that was tested positive for the coronavirus? Is that China's fault? Is it China's fault that America continues to have wide open events with many, many people, and now their cases have doubled in a matter of days? Is that China's fault? In many ways, this is a good example of what I call toxic Americanism. You get some people in America especially who are very, very sure about what China or another country is like, how bad they are and wrong about everything. They have that supreme confidence in their knowledge. And yet anyone who has even a cursory knowledge of the subject, who inspects what they say, finds they don't understand almost anything that they're talking about. It's this very weird cognitive dissonance, this conflict of facts versus confidence. They're supremely confident, but they have no facts. And I would also like to point out that China has never asked for an apology from the American CDC for its horrible hack job on letting the H1N1 spread across the world and kill hundreds of thousands of people. Because viruses aren't easy to control. The cases in America have doubled in the last few days. And yet, this is what you do. Ask for apologies from other countries who are suffering even more. And this is actually one of the reasons I started making videos in the first place. I would go back to America and people would tell me things about China that they knew for a fact. And yet those things weren't true at all. And it's a very discouraging sign when there's so many people, especially people that have a large platform, that are just so confident and cocky about what they know about China, when in fact they don't know anything about China. The nature of any conversation in which you are not inquisitive about the truth is merely propaganda. It's transparent. While I can't apologize on behalf of China, I will apologize on behalf of myself to you, Jesse. I'm sorry that you think Chinese people eat raw bats and raw snakes. I'm sorry that you apparently think that viruses come from dead food. I'm sorry that somehow in your education, you missed out on the part of critical thinking and evaluating subjects that you're talking about. I'm sorry that you think the government of China is a communist government as opposed to a socialist government. I'm sorry that you think that the Chinese government can't feed its people, and so they are so desperate that they're going around eating raw bats and snakes. I'm sorry that your knowledge of China is so low that you are terribly unqualified to even speak about the country. I'm sorry that you continue to focus on China even as the virus spreads throughout America. I'm sorry that you have accused China of hiding numbers and underreporting while it is a proven fact that the CDC is underreporting cases. And I'm sorry about whatever happened to you to turn you into someone who just hates China no matter what happens. And I'm sorry that you have found yourself in a situation that you're contributing to a small number of anti-Chinese people. This idea, this constant idea that China is always wrong about everything and America is always right. I'm sorry that you grew up to be this way. Hopefully someday you can turn things around and start to give other countries the same benefit of the doubt that you give America. And I'm sorry that you think scientists believe that the coronavirus started at the market, which hasn't been the case for 2 months. It's such a revealing fact that you are looking to blame people when you should be focused on containing the virus. I'm sorry that you seem to be unaware that a lot of people are starting to think that the virus didn't start in China and may have been brought there by a gaming event in November. The point is, it's not been proven where the virus came from, and no matter where it came from, that country isn't responsible for Mother Nature. But most of all, I'm sorry that you have such a large platform to spread your ignorance of China around the United States to people who can't be bothered to check the real facts. So while you'll probably never get an official apology, hopefully you can accept my apology to you. Thanks everybody. 谢谢.